Vanakkam, Namaste, Sitaram, and welcome to another edition or another intelligence and mini series, um, Balidhaan. And in this particular video, we are going into the Brahmavaivarta. This is one of the 18 Mahapurans and so forth. And we are going into the we this is actually a double volume book, and we are going into volume one, and we are going into chapter 64, which is named the method of adoration and sacrifice of animals. And in this particular chapter, we see where they give descriptions of Ma, all her different limbs and so forth. Very beautiful, very, very sweet, very, compared to the glows of a thousand sun. Her eyes is like a thousand moons and adornments. And they go into great detail to explain every aspect of Ma, how beautiful she is, how her different limbs and so forth. In this also, it gives details of all the articles needed for her worship to get, as in offering rice, ghee, the different daras and how the mixture so forth. It tells you how to set the different mandalas, right? To set the mandala to where the puja is going soon. Now, I had mentioned that this particular book, this particular Puran, and the Kalika Puran, which is a lesser Puran, are tied together. Because why? In this Puran also, it tells you about the mudra. There it is in the Kalika Puran, it tells you how to make the mudra using your hands. This one tells you how to do the same tortoise mudra, but to draw it in the ground in the midst of the mandala, and you're using the kus grass to draw the mandala and to draw the mudra there to where you're performing the puja and how to purify the area and the mandala and the design you're making and so forth. It tells you the different beach mantras that his mat is used to use, whatever and so forth, in doing the worship. Give you her different names, Chandika, Ambika, and so forth and such. Gives you some of where she would have played her part as in aiding Lord Vishnu in advising him how to destroy Madhu and Ketava and all this and destroying Rakta Bija and so forth. So it gives that aspect also, right? It gives all that aspect. So, but also, but it also gives you the offering of the balidhaan, and where it goes into detail of, right? It goes into detail of describing. It gives you the different aspect of animals also. It gives you 1 or 2 descriptions of them. Plus, it tells you that the animal is not to be too young, it is not to be too old. The animal or the sacrifice itself, the balidhan here, is not to have any contusion. Now, this aspect, that part where it tells you the animal must be sick, mustn't have a runny nose, no cuts, no bruises, this, that, malnutrition also. It cannot, it may, people might say I might be wrong for this, but it also ties into when we go to the Devi Bhagavatam and we read the aspect of worshipping the virgins, which is chapter I think which in the aspect of doing worship for Naratam. The next chapter where we learn about doing worshiping the 9 virgins and so forth, where they say the girls and them should not have a sleepy eye, mustn't be blind, mustn't have a cut, running nose, mustn't be sick, and so forth. It goes to tell you that even the balidhan here must be of perfect nature. It also describes that it must be a he animal, it must be male, it must not be female. Right? It must be heard. If anybody use a female as them, there are consequences, there are grave consequences, and the puja is not completed. It is more or less, it is done before even started. This, along with the Kalika Puran, states that that the rituals must be performed as prescribed. If anything is omitted or missing slightly in anywhere, you do not gain your full siddhi. You do not gain your full vardhan. You do not gain your full blessings, your darshan. Right? It must done to a T, all the offerings and everything. The vrats that you must perform, the baths and rituals prior to performing the worship itself, leading straight up to the balidhan and after the balidhan, must be done according to what is written and prescribed. It must be done in a particular manner. So there it is. The brahmavaivarta gives, you know, description of the animal and how it's supposed to be worshipped, feeding, everything leading up. Same thing the Kalikapuran goes also into, right? It tells you of, right, what type of animal to offer ma and what how much blessings one enjoys and so forth in this. Right, it gives you that description also, so one can read further into it. Right, it tells you that the animal must not be too young, it must not be too old. It tells you that the animal must not have any sicknesses, any cuts, any bruises, any contusions, whatever that will consider not be able to use. So it goes very much strict into that also. Right, it goes that aspect into that. So this is where we are saying in the Mahapuran, where we see just like a few videos down the road, before we went into the Matsya Puran and we saw where Homan was done, the aspect of balidhaan offering in Havan or Homam, where Indra was presiding over also. We saw it there in a Mahapuran. We are seeing it here, repeated again in another Mahapuran. So people must sometimes debate that these are only things found in the lesser Purans. Well, this is a Mahapuran. The Matsya is a Mahapuran also, and it is found there. The Vedas, which are the foundation of Hinduism, also has that aspect. We see aspect of the different Ramayans have shown that also. So we see where Balidhaan has existed and it is more or less shown, it has been referenced and so forth against for in other different things. So we see here once again where this Mahapuran or the Brahmavaivarta gives details of the Balidhaan, the adoration, how, when, and why, and with the animal, less if it should not be older, it should not be younger, it should be of a certain particular aspect, a certain age, a certain, you know, growage to be offered. So we see that in particular. And they go in much, much, much detail of it. So we see once again it Balidhaan does exist. All right. So I hope this video has been informative. If I have short anything or missed out anything, please inform me. If I need to do more in depth in any particular area, which I will do, there are videos coming up to these videos where I sit down with just that particular. So if I'm doing the Brahmavaivarta, and I will go full depth. So I will be doing that Balidhaan Puja via the Brahmavaivarta, and I'll go full depth into that. Balidhaan Puja via the Kalikapuran, and I will go full depth into that, and so forth. So please look out for those videos are coming. These videos are being noted, and they will be coming out very much soon. I will try my best, how best to put them out there. So I hope this video has been informative. So where we see there are many different doctrines, many documents, different Ramayans, different Puranas, the Agamas, and so forth that shows Balidhaan has existed, does exist. It is being followed by some people in modern day. It is not something that is taboo, and it shows where it has been given reverence to other aspects of worship or measure up to all those different and so forth. So I hope this has been informative as always. Hope to see you in future videos. All right, till next time, Jai Sitaram.